in the day, back in that small rural community where I grew up, weddings were a big deal. Not the wedding ceremony so much itself, because that's usually only the family and friends were invited, the close friends were invited, because, well, the reception following the ceremony could be a little bit pricey. Nope. The big deal for a wedding back then is what happened in the evening. After the cows were milked, after the chickens were fed, and you put in their coop, the real festivities for many of us began in the evening with the wedding dance. This was where the whole community was invited. They put up posters, so-and-so's getting married, and they tell you where it is, and they say, come and join in the fun. And people did. They came to celebrate with the families and friends of theirs. And if the bride and groom had been lucky enough to get either Tom Patak or Joey Zacharias with his accordion and the polka band, we knew the partying would last into the wee hours of the morning. And along with the partying, there was always food, and there was always the celebration drink, which was beer. Now, how else could you stay light on your feet for all those polkas and shadishas? We partied. And Jesus partied at a wedding also. A wedding in Cana of Galilee, the Gospel of John tells us. And the commentaries also tell us that a Jewish wedding at that time, in a community like that, was filled with food, dancing, and drink. But not just for one day. In Cana at that time, it lasted for 7 days. So that meant the community expected food, music, and the celebration drink, which at that time was wine. They expected it to flow for 7 days. But during this wedding, the wedding that Jesus is at, the wine gives out. And it was Mary, Jesus' mom, who brings that to his attention. Now at first Jesus is reluctant, but then he does help. Right there in the middle of community, family, friends, Jesus helps. And how does he do it? He does it very quietly, without any fanfare. He helps a poor bride and a groom keep the wine flowing. Not just enough for the bride and groom, or just enough for the guests, but he provided wine abundantly. Abundantly, so it could be shared. Now the commentaries tell us that this story of Jesus changing that water into wine is one of the very best stories that people remember from the New Testament, even though it is found in only one gospel, and that is the Gospel of John. But I don't think the story about what Jesus did once and never again, I don't think it was about that, once and never again. I think it was a story about what Jesus is doing, something he is doing forever and ever. Because I believe that in this season of Epiphany begins with gifts. First, the gifts of the Magi. Then the gift of the Holy Spirit at the baptism. I believe that Jesus is teaching about another gift. The gift of abundance, but not of wine. He is teaching about a gift of abundance that is far more important than wine. He's teaching about the gift of grace. Now, grace is something that we receive, whether we deserve it or not. which is a mercy because it doesn't matter to God whether we deserve it or not. And it doesn't even matter if we're like that bride and groom at Cana who were totally oblivious to the need, or if we were like Mary, who was totally aware. It does not matter. Why does it not matter whether we know we need it, or heck, I have no idea. It matters because, it does not matter because we receive grace whether we ask for it or not. And it also matters, I believe, is how we respond to that grace, that abundant grace that comes down upon us. Because Jesus teaches us, when the light of grace shines on us, there comes a responsibility and an expectation. By his actions, Jesus teaches us that we are to share the abundance of grace with our neighbors, our family, our community. And how do we do that? Well, Paul tells us in Corinthians. Paul says we are gifted with another God-given gift, which is given in abundance. And that is the many gifts that we have. Remember those gifts that Paul listed out? But those gifts are not to be used just for us. They're to be used for the needs of our family, our friends, our neighbors, our community. That can be a mighty tall order. And sometimes it's very hard to search through and find how to meet those needs. But then Paul goes on to assure us that we have help. Paul tells us that the Holy Spirit, if we listen, will guide us in how to use our gifts in loving and life-giving grace. And I believe that Paul is correct. Why do I believe that? Well, just look around. When I look around, I see people right here in this church who give with abundance. They help with food pantries. They help guide our youth. They organize in-gatherings for our neighbors in need. I see people who give and give abundantly. And these are just a few of the many, many gifts and examples that I see of what happens when we listen to the Spirit. And then, when I look outside our community, outside those four walls of this church community, I see people there too. I see people there who use their gifts to discern, to listen to the Spirit, and they respond to the needs of the abused and trafficked, like the Friends of Tamar and Magdalene Omaha. Then, they also use their gifts to organize contributions, donations, and then they take them to the place where those gifts can be distributed. In our greater community, I see people use their gifts for compassion, organization, wisdom, love. And again, these are just a few of the many examples. A few of the examples of the many folks who reflect the light of abundant grace and love, just like Jesus teaches us. And then when we listen to the Holy Spirit, and we use our God-given gifts to follow Jesus and to love our neighbors as ourselves, here are some wise words from our own presiding Bishop Curry. Wise words to guide us when he says, if it doesn't look like love, it doesn't look like Jesus of Nazareth. And as we follow Jesus of Nazareth, may we all trust in the Spirit to keep the fine wine of grace and love flowing to all of our neighbors, as we live like that Jesus teaches us. Amen.